back to the Vid-Bits. I'm Brian.
And I'm Braden.
And we're back with another episode of Game of Day May. It's the 23rd episode, May 23rd, and we're going to be doing some Turtles in Time, the arcade port.
So, I'm going to be picking Michelangelo.
And I love Donatello, so I'm going to be rocking out with him again. And just to remind everybody, winners don't use drugs. Apparently. I don't know. Drugs is a subjective thing. If you like Pokemon cards, it's kind of a drug.
Just saying, sugar's a drug, caffeine's a drug.
Just saying, watching old commercials on YouTube like I do, that's a drug. It's pretty dumb.
I don't know that that's the same as what they're talking about, but yeah. So we got April O'Neil here, and looks like someone's out to take the Statue of Liberty. The Foot Clan's behind it, supposedly.
You gotta love that homage to the NES game right there. I think it's pretty cool that they basically have, you know, showing like that same time. Why am I? Start.
Press start.
I am press start, right? Oh, A is just. Can you add yourself 15,000 guys? Alright.
We can actually do that.
That's cool. Anyways, it's just about having some fun, romping through this. But I was trying to say, like, that's basically paying, you know, homage to the NES game where there's a scene where splitters on, or shutters on the TV, and it looks exactly like the same.
Sped up right now?
It does seem a little bit hyper. Why is it so fast? Why is everything going so fast?
Yeah. Is there a setting anything? Can you open a menu or anything and go to settings?
Sure. Let's see here.
That's super weird. Here. Wouldn't be there. Quit?
Oh man, yeah.
I mean, unless you want to play it sped up.
No.
I thought it was quick. Quick.
Okay.
Enhancements.
Turbo mode was on.
God mode's on.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Well, why is that the case?
I know we had the starting live set to 8.
Alright. Now we're good.
Or does God mode just mean infinite continue? It seemed like we took damage.
Alright, let's go. Let's see if we can...
Yeah, let's get into it.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, winners don't use drugs. Yeah. April, scene 1.
Here we go.
Here we are.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to be playing super speed, because that's crazy.
That was super weird. I was like... It felt like I was taking everyone out really quickly, and I was wondering why that was the case.
You know, even if you can... maybe if you have like less time and you just want to run through it real quick, that's cool, but...
It's like watching YouTube videos on like 2 times speed or 1.5 times speed. I remember I used to study on 1.5 times speed because the videos they had us watching were like too slow.
I think sometimes it's just in the case where they're like, well, you know, I gotta speed this up real quick because I want to show you this part, and this is what I'm doing with this part, but let me show this real quick, and just speed it up.
Yeah, I guess that's a good reason.
I've seen stuff like, you know, on Destiny tutorials and stuff when somebody's trying to show you something that they want to get you there, but they want to make sure that they don't just warp across the map, so they want to show you in real time the route, but they speed up the footage. That's what it felt like. We were like speeding up the footage and trying to show you the boss real quick.
Yeah, it felt like we were destroying people.
Prepare to die.
Like, it felt like they were falling really quick, and then I noticed that, like, the nunchuck animation for Michelangelo was spinning super quickly, and I was like, something's definitely off here.
Let's just not add any more credits and see how many guys we can...
We started with 55,
yep.
Right?
Yep.
I didn't even mean to add that many. I was just trying to skip through menus, or through cutscenes that we had already seen. There's my first death.
Man, that was crazy. I'm glad we figured that out.
Yeah, that was something.
Pizza time.
Alright, so here we got Baxter Stockman. Maybe.
Huh, where's his health bar?
I attacked him really early, so I don't know do with it. Well, he's landed now and no health bar.
Huh.
Is that a setting? Or there? Okay.
Hey, I'm not worried about it as long as we can just beat him.
Yeah. Because the last time we had played this, it was, there's a health bar.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a setting that we had disabled.
It's alright. It's... If you wouldn't have fought a boss, all of a sudden a health bar would be hovering in the air. Let's just take him out and...
In the arcade game, it doesn't have a health bar, does it?
This is the arcade ROM, so I don't know. It's kind of weird.
No, like, what I'm saying is, like, I get it if they add something in post, but, like, in the game, does it usually have a health bar?
I have never played Turtles in Time in the actual arcade. I've only played this ROM.
Okay.
Like, I've never seen a dedicated Turtles in Time cabinet. It's always, if they only have space for one, they're going to do the old school one. Even though a lot of people consider this superior, really, in, like, the animation and obviously levels. And, I don't know. I like being able to go against Bebop and Rocksteady a couple different times. And
you're fine.
Them having, you know, a bigger role in it, and then seeing characters from the other movies and stuff. But then that's also why people think that Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo is like one of the greatest games ever, because pretty much it's got that, and also they put Tatsu in there from the movies as well, whereas he doesn't make an appearance in any of the other media here early.
So did Turtles start off as a comic book?
Yeah, it's a comic book that's drawn by Kevin Eastman. I'm not sure if he also writes it. I'm pretty sure he had a lot of the main, probably too, considering the fact that he has a lot of the say-so, the direction of the characters went in the beginning. It's also why, if you look at the NES version of the game and on the cover, they are all wearing the red bandanas, because in the comic book in the early, they didn't have individual identifying color markers. That's something that kind of was developed later.
Probably for it to branch out and for them to become more recognizable.
Right, and it was also another one of the situation where where the toys actually, as far as the Ninja Turtles cartoon was concerned, the toys were all, you know, on card before we ever saw a single episode of the cartoon. That's why it seemed like, wow, they have toys that are so niche to this show I like, and it was the other way around, actually. And I believe that they did the same thing back in the day with properties like He-Man and stuff, where it was literally reverse engineered predominantly as a toy first and then a show second.
It's kind of sad.
It is. It's a little disheartening.
But then again, they do a good job with Turtles and even with He-Man, so at least they're good toys paired with a good show.
Right.
Rather than, you know, maybe cool toys or in a bad show, or a cool show and bad toys.
Or worse off, both. Like something like both. Like we're both.
Right, it's both kind of jank, and it was only created to make money. Whereas, like, they at least put their heart and soul into Turtles for as far as I can tell.
As far as it felt like, as far as like the quality of it, I don't know. I also felt like that as far as like with Transformers go, as far as the quality of the toys. They were just, you know, they were die cast back in the day, and people just look for those G1 Transformers because they just hold up in quality, and that's why the value reflects that too.
Well, that makes sense.
But nowadays, you know, it's just so much plastic and stuff, and I get it. They feel like if it hits the landfill, it's better for it to be plastic than to be metal, I guess. I don't know if that's the reasoning or not, but also for cost reasons, of course.
Oh yeah, it's always about cutting down cost, I feel like. But some things present better in plastic versus metal, or the other way around.
There goes Metalhead. Woo! High five. That was great.
That leaning high five is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now we're deep in the sewers of Manhattan. Pretty yucky.
Yeah. Luckily they decided to make the color, you know, dark. But we know what that is.
That's poop.
That's poop.
Yeah.
Ew. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
that gate of spiked bamboo or whatever that is coming out of nowhere is just not fair. It's like, where is that coming from?
Yeah, they have that set up in the sewers in case any alligators get in, you know, or crocodiles. It's a countermeasure for any sewer dwelling creatures to make sure they don't get past a certain point, I guess.
And you know, they only do it because
we missed those
we
pizzas.
did. They only do it because they know combined with the poop, you're just done. Like the diseases you'll get with the open wounds and the poo.
You have an open wound down here, and you're pretty much done. So maybe that's why the turtles have. Maybe they have a good immune system. Because
There they are again.
They were raised in filth. They don't seem gross or nasty ever, though.
No, they don't.
They're never portrayed as like covered in waste.
Yeah. April O'Neil obviously doesn't mind the smell of poop. She hangs out all the time with them.
Yeah, down in the sewers and Danny.
Man, you think that if they're so worried about their image that they would bathe, but you know.
But turtles don't bathe.
They gotta be at that cross though, where they're like, okay, we're turtles, but we're teenagers, and it's not fair that teenagers already have the stigma of having bad hygiene. What are we gonna do? Just lean into that? But because we're heroes, so we gotta be good images for people to look to.
But they're just turtles.
But they're
I
just.
think you're overlooking the fact that they're simply just turtles. I don't think the turtles are like, man, we should bathe. I'm surprised they know how to eat.
They can eat pizza.
Like, I mean, obviously turtles know how to eat, but like they eat pizza. Like that's
Yeah.
their
First
I wonder-
words, pizza.
yeah. The nutrition there. Come on, Splinter. You raised them with really unhealthy habits. Good thing it's sustainable though, because of where they live. I mean, they'll be able to find all kinds of pizza in Manhattan.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just because it was the scraps.
Pizza.
That's one of the.
Pizza.
Even though it's like such a like old movie, the way they shot that, it's not that old, but like the way they shot that like dark scene where they're like the turtles are like in the ooze and then like.
I hate to say it, but like at this point, it's a pretty old movie. It's 34 years old.
When is something considered old?
I don't know, but I know that when I was born, in the 80s, like stuff was from the 50s was considered old, so that was 30 years prior.
Yeah, I guess I just don't think it.
We don't think of it like that. It's almost a little glass breaking of a moment to think that stuff in the 80s now is considered super old, probably to some people, even if it is good.
I'd say the 70s is old. I don't think the 80s is quite old yet. But then again, I wasn't even alive then, so.
Wongo.
Now we're going back to BC
What
2500.
That's not right. What is going on?
What's not right?
This isn't the order that... This is a weird order.
Well, guess we're just gonna go with it.
We're just going with it because the last time we did the Technodrome and we did Crane and then we got sent back. What happened to that? This is weird. Anyways,
unfortunately, there's so many like cool things available through the Cowabunga collection that I think we might be like.
well, what it is I was joking around and cycling through the ROMs for regions. This could be a different country's arcade region. No matter what, guys, we are beating a version of Turtles in Time that was available.
Europe?
It could be. What they do is in different countries, they'll cycle these games. And I found out through some of the older games like Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., we actually talked about it earlier in Game of Day May. Check those episodes out where I talk about the international versions and the Japanese versions of those ROMs. So regionally, it's different based on either sensibilities. Sometimes they chose something and something's in it, and instead of just dealing with censoring that thing that's going to be offensive to that region, they just omit that level. Or other times, for difficulty's sake, almost like a coin operator being able to switch the dip switch in an arcade, they just can set a region where it's going to have a different way that the levels play in a different order, or where they came out earlier so they didn't get different levels, or they came out later so they include more levels that were available later with the ROMs. So we are going to complete this version, whatever this version is.
We can look when we're done.
Yeah, it's interesting though because we've played another version where this board had a board in between it. So I don't know what anybody would feel like Krang was offensive. But
No, maybe it's not even offensive. It could just be like the size of the chips they were allowed to use for the board, or like the motherboards.
Right.
Like think how much. I don't know how much like processing and or memory goes to a single level, but like maybe if they were to take out 2 or 3 levels, it would drastically reduce the amount of space they had to use or something.
right, and I feel like the animations are different though too. Like I don't remember that leaning high five.
Yeah, I don't remember. There's a lot of leaning animations. Even during the sewer section, there were some times where they would just kind of like lean.
This is different, right? This is different.
Yeah, this is
not the same boss that we fought here.
Was this-
We didn't even fight a boss here. I'm cool with it. This is actually interesting, and now it kind of makes me wonder how many of these different variants are hidden among the 13 or so games that are on this collection, which is great. It's a great,
Yeah, this
it's a
was
great
not,
value.
Yeah. Are you sure there wasn't a boss here?
I'm positive because we saw. Oh, not. It definitely wasn't this. Whatever.
It was not this.
Whatever. If there was one, it wasn't this. This is a very. And also, we were noting that there isn't like the names of things in the bars, so it is definitely cool that it's a different ROM. I know that we're playing on the normal or the medium difficulty, so we didn't skimp out on the difficulty because these allow you to just do infinite credits anyways, but it makes me wonder.
Yeah, that's also the thing is the other ROM didn't allow us to add more credits.
Right, that's true.
So like,
It makes you wonder.
it really does. This guy he's getting whooped.
But he definitely was somebody else.
It was definitely somebody else.
Was it Slash? It was Slash
It was
here.
Slash here.
Why are we not getting Slash and we're getting Mudman? And he shrank. That's a weird animation.
Yeah, and they high five.
I'm gonna say this is Japanese.
They high five every time.
I'm gonna say this is Japanese, and they just decided that instead of putting any kanji on here at all, they're just writing it all in English, like the rest of it, kind of marrying some of it together. This is definitely interesting. So it should be Bebop and Rocksteady, but in the other one, I know we at least fought him twice before.
Yeah, because before we went to or either in the Technodrome or we also didn't we fight Toka and Razor before?
Yeah, we did.
Maybe that's why they're not in this version. It's because did the movie come out overseas?
I'm not sure. I'm very intrigued now. And this is different. That bomb isn't there. I was gonna ask you, have you ran across any of those pizzas that are bombs that we like use to get the super spin move? I don't feel like that's.
Yeah, I found one. It was
Okay.
not in the same spots though. It's weird. So if we're coming clean, yes, actually not coming clean. I'm sure you guys already know. We attempted to do this the other day. What was that? Yesterday?
Yes.
We tried doing this yesterday, and
There it is.
actually due to the fact that we didn't get more than a few continues, like we weren't able to beat it, so then we opted to do Heavy Burger instead as kind of an audible, but we're definitely playing a different version today, because we went through farther than this,
Oh yeah.
so it was like, it's just weird that we didn't encounter some of the bosses we did before, and then like Brian pointed out, what's his name? Slash being completely omitted, and we get the mud monster or whatever instead. Also the Technodrome not being in between.
Maybe it'll be later. Maybe they just changed the order that this is gonna go on, because I mean, we were talking about how basically it's like 4 modern, boards, and then they flip you into the past, and then you just do like from the very furthest moving up, but they make a bigger deal about the time travel mechanic, where this has just seemed like it might be more focused on just love. What's that all about?
The lightning was
That's not in the other version.
I think that,
Wow.
I hope that's not like a seizure warning. I feel like unfortunately there's
Toka and
there's
Razor.
Toka and Razor.
I don't know how I feel about that lightning.
Yeah, I feel like unfortunately in Japan sometimes they neglect to account for people with epilepsy or photosensitivity issues, because it's not uncommon for, obviously the Pokemon scandal with the Porygon episode or whatever, which was causing seizures, and there have been problems before, so it's like that's probably why that was not here. And I don't even think they look the same.
These do not look like the same sprites.
Yeah,
either.
that's what I'm saying.
Those look like some. Look at how big.
They're the same size.
Yeah.
And they're way bigger than us. I mean, I might be just remembering wrong.
No, we'll definitely, not necessarily in this playthrough, but we'll definitely figure it out. Because I will go back and wonder, like, let's see if they shrink to... This is not who we fought here either. We fought Bebop and Rocksteady as pirates.
Right. Well, they shrunk to the same looking
Actually lined up for that. Look at... I'm not saying it's very...
They do the slanted high five every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on a train.
Bury my shell at Wounded Knee.
This is the same.
That's Leatherhead.
This is the same, right?
I think so.
I think this is completely the same.
That's just crazy, though. I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah, that was a pirate version of Bebop and Rocksteady there before.
I remember this being also the same case with the Simpsons arcade ROM, where the international version has different weapons and stuff. So, and actually, the weapons that they have was a atom bomb, and it was very flashy on the screen and by the animation. And the only reason why I mention it is because the Simpsons arcade was also made by Konami around the same time as all these.
Let us know in the chat who's you guys' favorite turtles. Like, I mean, I'm always gonna be very biased to Michelangelo because he was my favorite growing up. But I just want to know what you guys think. I know I asked you the other day, but why do you like Donatello?
I just really think that he's, the more I've analyzed it, I think it's because I never had to stress about getting his toys because he was one of the least liked characters. Like, if you look at the order and you had to pick an order, it was people were almost always going for Raph or Mikey, or if they were like a very alpha type kid, they went for Leonardo, and I just always feel like I never had a problem with, I asked for Donatello that I got him, and I was just lucky that that's who I picked because, I think that he, I don't know, I felt like he wasn't the most popular, so I think that was why I kind of attached to him. And then they kind of made him the nerdy guy, and I kind of felt like a nerdy guy at school too, but, they also, a lot of stuff sometimes as far as the group was concerned was resolved because of his smarts, and I always kind of identified that too, or like wanting to feel like that was the case for me and my friend group, so all those things combined, plus his weapon was one of those things that I thought if I got to use that as a weapon, then those type of weapons are laying around all the time. You can find a stick type thing, you can snap the head off of a mop or a broom or whatever, and all of a sudden you got Donatello's weapon. It was the most practical to find around.
That's why it made sense in 2 when they were replacing their weapons with like objects that did the same thing. It really didn't make much of a difference.
What was that look? That was a
side eye.
Right.
Very wonky looking.
I don't even feel like this is the same sprite.
No, this does not look. Seems less refined, and I don't know if we fought him like in this train car.
No, and he's not even being like Leatherhead. He's acting like something else, and they got him standing up. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Something more like that. Like,
why does he have a knife?
I don't. I think he had a knife.
Did he?
I don't know. This is just
it's
kind of wonky. I don't know.
Some of these things just aren't the same, and it's like it makes me feel weird because we just did this the other night, and I can't remember which things aren't the same. Like,
again, I'll take credit for just messing around before we started shooting this evening.
And then he just.
Oh my God, that animation with his tongue sticking out. That's
Oh
definitely
my
not. We're
gosh.
not playing the American version of Turtles in Time, folks. If you're tuning in, just tune in. This is not the American arcade ROM. This is definitely an arcade ROM, but.
Where are we going now?
Neon Night
We're 3 years ago.
That looked like Krang.
What's this going on? What's going on?
Okay.
Is this in the other? I'm having a great time playing this with you, Braden. I just want you to know.
I'm just not sure. Like, it's weird. Like, It seems like the Mandela effect or whatever. It's like it's like
We got it. We went to Dimension X before we started streaming this evening, and all of a sudden we're playing the alternative version of Turtles in Time Arcade.
yeah, I guess. I mean, that could explain it.
It's definitely neat.
It's really cool though because like if you were to like not that there was much communication overseas before the internet when it comes to like people talking about video games, maybe magazines being the closest where people would be like hearing what you're talking about, but, like imagine like meeting a kid who came from Europe and like their version of certain games was just different. And when they're like, playing it on your Nintendo or you guys go to the arcade or whatever, they're like, this is not even what I remember. What are these?
I know.
What are these?
I was trying to let go of the fact that we missed 4 pizzas in a row, but besides that, I'm completely agreeing with you. Like, imagine you're like, all right, you come over from Britain and we show you one of our amazing arcades that seem to have sprung up in the last 10 or so years, and you get ready to play this Turtles in Time, and you're like, what the heck? This is not the board that's supposed to be next. And you're like, then we're like, man, you're crazy. We just start to then all of a sudden do what Americans like to do and just call you crap and that you don't really play it or whatever. You're like, no, I swear, this level is supposed to be, where's the flying robots on the saucer level? And like, because I've never seen this before, and I've played this game.
Yeah, what?
I beat the arcade ROM, the regular American one, the US one, and I've also beat the American Super Nintendo, or the NTSC Super Nintendo ROM for this game, so I've never seen this before.
Yeah, this is different. I think we've only ran through this together like once before. Because I don't really typically have the attention span for beat 'em ups, but when you're recording and or when you're with someone else and you're just talking, it's a lot easier to actually get through beat 'em ups, but by yourself it's just kind of boring.
Yeah, these are definitely meant to be with other people. Wow, this is not a fight that we do, right? Because we fought them, right?
I don't. This is definitely not the same. No, because
I don't feel like I'm now completely doubting everything I've ever done as far as this game goes. I don't know what's going on.
This is not. No. Look at how weird Krang looked, like in the center.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't even.
Like, we didn't even get the cool level where we throw with the enemies at Shredder. I feel like maybe could they have like decided that they wanted that to be towards the end and they didn't agree with other people's placement of that level?
I don't.
Because we just got transported back like the end of that, but that just happened in the level that we were at when that happened, instead of us going to the Technodrome. So I'm going to be disappointed if there's no Technodrome level, right?
I would just I don't know. I'm just.
I know. Every time
I'm
it's just
shocked because like there have been notable differences and things have for sure been different. Like this.
He's taking forever.
Oh yeah, like nobody knows this. I don't think. Like, obviously some people. That's insensitive. People do know this, but it's not the version of Turtles in Time I've played. So it's cool. It's refreshing.
It is, and I feel like that means that there's a lot of replay on this collection, where after even you go through the first time, you can just switch the regions and go through again and just kind of note the differences and have fun doing that.
You see how awkwardly he just kind of like drifted off?
Yeah.
High five. Okay.
I feel like that's like, I don't want to say, I'm going to say it seems like it's a little culturally insensitive, the animation when they're doing that high five animation.
How?
I don't know, they just seem very, it almost seems like they're very like, how like they used to draw like Asians on like, package marketing stuff for Asian stuff.
If this is the Japanese ROM that they're like,
yeah, I guess it'd be self-referential.
Or perhaps it's just culturally different.
Yeah.
Perhaps. It could just be, cultural. Is proclivity is a word?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you look at how animation, like when anime characters smile, that's what I'm kind of comparing it to.
Well,
if that makes sense.
It's just like a stylistic.
Okay, here we go.
It's probably just a stylistic choice that's more common in Japan. I wouldn't say there's anything
like the Chimpokomon episode of South Park, if you know what I mean.
Like I think that's just over stylized, exaggerized.
Just check it out at the end of this level and tell me you don't feel a little bit different about it after we just talked about it.
Okay. I'll try to see where you're coming from, but I don't think this is different.
It is.
What are they holding?
And they suck. They're not as good as the other enemies. They're just there. They're different colors. What, they got frisbees? I'm gonna get disc golfed to death by these guys.
I was really wondering what they were.
These robots are jank. They're not like the little cool little machines that you get popping on the ground. They're just like, hey, we got this little tin can guy that we got from this other crappy Konami game that's not gonna fit anywhere. Just put him there. Like, oh, he's got wheels on? Let's make him go back and forth and stuff, even though he could have some cool roaming AI. We don't know how to do that. Just make him skate back and forth like he's just like a bar or something. Nah, and he's dead. One hit. That's so much fun.
This is weird.
I know. I mean, I feel like I'd like to do like a bonus bits on some of these A-Day May games where like
Not freezing.
I'd like to play like the regular one and see what's up after that and be like, this is C, because we were almost done last night at around the 45-minute mark, and we only, were seeing some of these boards, and I just don't remember them.
Yeah, it's odd. This is different. I keep saying that, but it's like...
Oh, somebody in chat's gonna be like, you guys are just something else. And I'm like, okay, agree to disagree. It's fine.
What? The bouncing ball?
Are we on Mars? Where are we at?
I don't know.
That's a little bit delayed. What's that? Like,
maybe we'll do the fight with Shredder here. I don't know. Maybe we're just stupid.
I don't think so.
Well, I know that some things are different. It's just like maybe we're second guessing everything now, and some of the things are the same that we're thinking are different. But I don't know. Not entirely sure.
I just know I beat this game before, and just some of this just, I guess it's just that unmemorable. Maybe, I don't know. I know I definitely want to compare it now. 100%.
So, this is the boss room.
Like, right?
Yeah, I think I would have remembered
Right?
this. With the Shredder in the background. This is cool.
I feel like everything is a lie. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I have such a sense of familiarity with the 1989 one that I'm like, okay, I know all the beats. And I know I beat this enough on Super Nintendo that I was just like, kind of tired of it, because I know it doesn't even take nearly as long for some reason. You can be in like 25 minutes for some reason. Because the stages, even though they have accurate bosses, don't feel as long. But some of this just feels super unfamiliar to me. And I'm just trying my best to wrap my brain around it. And I know when we get off camera, I'm going to want to just play through it and find it out.
Well, at the end of this, we're definitely going to see what version we're on.
I don't know, I hope it lets us know so I can figure that out. And then I'm probably going to go on Wiki and see if there is some sort of thing that shows you regional differences. Because those pod enemies there are a little bit more in line. This Krang boss where he's in a ship, it may not be that these levels are off. I feel like we're getting alternate sprites and alternate color palettes, which is definitely, again, not untypical for different regions. And even stuff like that's enough to throw your familiarity off because it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, my fingers are actually starting to hurt with this one. It's like, come on, it gotta be close.
I also
that is actually like, ugh. I don't like that. Maybe that color when
right?
it's blinking is actually kind of irritating. Come on, be done with. Come on, Krang, we're done with you. We have just whomped him, and he just keeps on going. Okay, there we go. High five.
wow.
Alright, one more. We gotta retry that high five.
All right.
That's
that
a
was way
good
better.
one. Yeah.
All right, Technodrome,
Okay.
right?
That looks like, yeah.
1991.
Um,
This is definitely not. I don't know.
hey,
Super
Shred.
Shredder, right? That's normal, right? That's not the right sprite.
It looks like a lightsaber.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
I really wish somebody would just be like, yes, please just play the other one. I would literally just do it on stream and just play the American
We
one
can do
back
it.
to back.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it. We're gonna probably take like a quick pause in between stream
Yeah,
and
we
figure
might
it
take
out.
or not even. I mean, we need a little break in general. Might need to hydrate.
But yeah, I'm interested. I'm super
Yeah,
interested.
I
now.
know. I know some of these. Are
Or
different.
maybe this is his pre-Super Shredder form, and they have him that size because he's going to mutate into that, and it's gonna. I don't know, man. I appreciate when they do stuff too. Also, to know that the animators made a bunch of alternative stuff that I haven't even seen before, because like just seeing some of that stuff in like the form of like a great book, you know, a good hardcover book or an expose sometimes is neat when you've seen everything that is to be seen about something, and I just feel like it doesn't feel familiar. Some of the sprite work that we got, some of the enemies that we fought.
Yeah, definitely some of the enemies, like the or the frequency of pizzas. I feel like sometimes there were places where it seemed like there were maybe more.
I know we didn't get that. I feel like we didn't get that explosive barrel thing.
That we didn't, because that's also and it has a little Foot Clan symbol on it. Like, I don't think we, like, a lot, that also, in the lightning, that was for sure.
Oh yeah, because
not
that was,
there.
I really think
For
that
certain.
had to have been an epilepsy thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think a lot of, maybe some of the sprite work even, when they start flashing, they started being, like that last one, I think it actually was kind of, like, irritating to look at once that pink colored ship was flashing.
Well, Konami was notorious for its bosses starting to show weakness based on a pattern of orange flashing. What we're actually seeing these arcade replications, if you see that the colors are off, not necessarily this color that we're seeing that's the variants now, but like even when we switch it back and we play after this the American run, we figure that out. It actually is a variance of what you would have actually seen back in the day on a real one, because they did consider that orange flashing pattern and the frequency of which it flashes a potential epilepsy trigger. So when these games got ported, especially other games like Metal Slug and stuff like that, that have a high tendency for bosses to be shown damaging through orange flashing, they changed the hue slightly. Also, there was a dictation of how quickly or rapidly the frames per second could be on those flashes, so they had
He's
to
gotta be close, right?
yes, they had to change those things too in
Okay,
order.
here we go.
Now is this where he just fell
Fell
off?
off.
Now is he just gonna come back as Super Shredder? See, look, that doesn't look kind of. Am I wrong here? Is that we're done? Is that it? No, right? No Super Shredder? No.
There's Splinter.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at
What?
Raph! Look at Raph! What is that? What is that? What is wrong with Raph?
Hey guys, this is not the same. Okay, so I guess that's it.
Oh man.
Is that really it?
I don't. We know that's not right.
We know it's not normal. Okay, not normal for us, the
Yeah.
one we've played. Wow. But that's the end. We didn't get that.
No, not that. I mean, it doesn't. Look at Raph. I'm still stuck on it. He's like, I can't believe this is the end. Ah!
Wait, wait. Why is Donnie like a red color? That's not purple.
Special thanks, John Ryan and
That's not even close to his color of
Mike
purple.
Chang.
I thought that was Raph in the middle, but that's Donnie.
All right, so
That was a trip, okay?
okay, so it's just gonna endlessly loop. So we're gonna stop this, and we're gonna go to quit the game,
Yep.
and let's see. So
That was
region. It says the region is U.S.
just not.
That's not the U.S.
Is there a global version?
Let's see. Japan, U.S. Japan, U.S. There's no way. There's no way. Unless my brain remembers the sprite work for the Super Nintendo version more.
I just think there were. Wait, what's this? There's Turtles in Time and Turtles in Time.
That's the Super Nintendo version.
I think we played the Super Nintendo version.
You think so?
I think we did.
No, because there's only 2 people on the screen.
Then there was not those flashes of lightning. What about this? This is what we just played?
Yeah.
I just feel stupid.
I don't understand. I don't get it. The Mandela effect is real, kids. And we really have just shifted into some other dimension. It's Dimension X, and the Turtles game is weird here now.
Is there any other enhancement options, possibly?
All we did was make it so that we had more lives. That's it.
Game loop endlessly. Could that have changed?
No.
Put the reset.
Let's remove penalty bombs.
Click reset to defaults.
With 2 guys.
Yeah. Which should also be no continues.
Yeah.
Okay, now go.
So back out.
Yeah.
And hit start. See if we can add a bunch of credits off the rip like we did before. So, okay.
We should have known that was American because the winners don't use drugs. That's not Japanese.
Okay, so but we put it on 2 as the starting guys. So we'll at least be able to see if it changes because that's just...
I just don't remember a lot of those distinctions.
I don't either.
Okay,
we
whatever.
didn't.
Whatever. We beat it. Do you want to see the difference between the Japanese one?
My thing is this, okay? Even if we weren't right, we didn't fight Shredder. We didn't throw the enemies at him. That's definitely
right,
why did that not happen? You guys watched it. You guys saw us just take it out of that.
Okay. Go back to the menu. Wait. Actually, we should probably go to the end to see if we have to see.
This will definitely be Baxter Stockman.
Right.
The main thing is to see if the next one is. I don't know.
It's just weird because that is definitely not how things played out.
It isn't. It's weird.
It isn't. That isn't how things played out last night when we tried doing this. Like, it just makes.
I know. I don't understand.
All we really changed was the amount of guys we started with.
That's it.
We're not on a different difficulty mode. What could that be? That's so peculiar.
It is very peculiar.
Because we didn't do, like, when we just beat it, it didn't have that section where we threw the guys at them. And some enemies definitely look different.
They did.
That's why I just feel, it feels weird. Like,
I'm having a hard time, man.
Were there any other extras or anything we could have
We
accessed?
definitely didn't see that mud guy at all.
That mud guy
we fought
was
Bebop and Rocksteady one time each, and then we fought them together, and then we fought them together again.
Yeah.
Why didn't any of that happen? Right? Am I imagining that?
No, you're not imagining that, because you were like, we're gonna fight them again, and we fought them again.
And we fought Mecha Turtle and Slash.
Yeah, those were definitely...
So only Mecha Turtle was in this. We didn't fight Slash. We didn't fight them. We didn't fight Shredder and Krang inside the Technodrome. It was definitely weird.
Yeah.
But you saw when we left and got out of this, it said it was the US ROM. So anybody in the comments want to explain that to us too? Because we could definitely say, hey, look, it wasn't the US ROM. There's no way, right?
Was there a chance that it was on the Japanese... Like, it may have displayed the US ROM after a reset?
Maybe.
Could it have been on the Japanese ROM prior to it running?
It's possible. I'm willing to play enough to see where the first difference occurs. I mean...
But then also, like, we would have had the health bar, though.
Right.
The version we were playing had the health bar.
Right. It did. Why did it have the health bar?
This is just all peculiar.
And this time we put it to defaults, and all we did was add more credits. We didn't even do anything. We just left it at defaults. So where's the health bar?
There's not another version of Turtles in Time on this, is there?
Were we playing the Super Nintendo version? I don't think we were because it still had all the names up at the top, and the Super Nintendo version is only 2 players, so it only shows 2 people's names.
It could have been the Super Nintendo version.
It wasn't though because it had everybody's names because you accidentally switched to another turtle, and I don't think that you can do that. Can you?
No, because all of the names were up there. Because I remember our that's just okay. Now we sound just hysterical at this point. It's like
I don't care. I don't care.
We'll find what happened
refuse,
and we'll be able to explain it.
It froze. That's frozen. Like where?